Hello to my wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel once again. Welcome back to the channel. Greetings to you all wherever you are watching from. And I'm still your host, Ikeme Funachukwebuka. Don't boogie on. And I welcome you again today to this episode. So what are we doing today? Today we are looking at events, sporting events that happened last weekend and days before the last weekend. We're doing a review of all those events, and also in the program we're going to bring to you preview of games coming up this midweek. And where do we start from if not from the biggest news happening in Nigeria today, from our home front? So we start from our home front. They say charity begins at home. So with no much waste of your time, we start today from home. And from home, when I mean from home, I mean the unveiling of the Super Eagles coach, the 42nd Super Eagles coach, in the person of the 47-year-old Eric Chell. Eric Chell, he will be unveiled today in Abuja at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. He arrived yesterday night. So today he will be unveiled, and in his unveiling, we also get to know the three assistants he's coming with. But the names of the assistants with me here are Hedi Tabubi will be acting as his direct assistant, his first assistant, and he's also a video analyst. And second is Governovec. Thomas Governovec, who will be acting as the fitness trainer. And the third assistant he's coming with is Gian Daniel Padovani, who will be acting as the goalkeeper trainer. So today we hope to see our new coach and hear from him, and hear from what he has for us in stock, And talking about the new coach, like I said earlier, the deed has been done. NFF has appointed him. So we don't have any other alternative than to really support this guy. Let's support him, and in supporting him, we're also supporting the Super Eagles, because if we pray he doesn't succeed, that means the Super Eagles will succeed. So I call on all Nigerians to let's give him our support, because in supporting him, we are supporting the Super Eagles. So I did a little bit research on the guy, and like you all know, the guy is from Mali. He's born to a French father and a French father and a Malian mother. He was born in Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast. In his playing days, he played for Mali. He played for Mali in his playing days, and most of his career, he played most of his career in France, out there in France, in Ligue 1, and in the second division of French league, in the second division of French league. So also I looked at what really made this guy special, or what I felt the NFF looked into when they were appointing these guys. And the five things I could come up with is that this guy loved working with young players. He loves working with young players, and I hope that when he comes to Nigeria, we will get to see more of the young players coming out from the streets, because since the 1990s, it's really hard to see people, young players making it into the team. What we usually see these days are already made stars. So I hope that this guy will be able to pick young players from here in Nigeria and make them stars. Another thing I found out about this guy is that he's an attacking coach. He likes playing attacking football, and with the number of players and quality of players we have, we hope that the Super Eagles will be back to firing on all cylinders and scoring goals and playing those attacking football we love. The likes of Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, Ademola Lookman, Chukwueze, and the rest. Yeah, Alex Iwobi in the midfield. So his prospect looks bright, so we hope that he translates it to the Super Eagles. And another thing, he's a disciplinarian. From what I've seen from him, he's a disciplinarian. A vital thing he did at the AFCON 2023 was when he made Bissouma, who most people see as the biggest player in Mali, when he made him sit on the bench, and you use the players he had to reach that quarterfinals, and was just on a brink of making it to the semifinals, but Ivory Coast couldn't allow him. So another thing I found out about him is his tactical versatility. He's the coach that uses the 4-2-3-1 formation or 4-3-2-1 formation mostly, and most of the times he also drifts to the 4-3-3, and sometimes he usually play the three at the back. So, and if you check the antecedents of the coaches we have in the past few years, they normally play three at the back, and if he comes, I think he will fit into that. If he still wants to play four-man back line with all those three in the midfield or five in the midfield, we can still play those. So I hope to see what he brings to the Super Eagles. So moving on at home. At home, what do I have for you at home? In the MPFL, nothing really is going on in the MPFL. Why? Because they are on a 3 weeks break. They're on a 3 weeks break in the MPFL. But nevertheless, Enyimba still has like two outstanding games to play. They still have like two outstanding games, one against Wara, which is being scheduled to play this midweek. So I don't know if it's still going to go on. But the MPFL will be back next week. We'll be back next week, Saturday, on January 25th. The MPFL will be back on January 25th. But before then, on January 23rd, Enyimba will be playing Kano Pillars. They will be playing Kano Pillars, one of the outstanding games. They will be playing Kano Pillars. So that's it on the home front. On the home front, what do I have again? Okay, let's talk about the under 20 under so the under 17 women's World Cup qualifiers going on right now. The under 17 women's World Cup qualifiers going on right now kicked off on January 10th. 28 teams were drafted to take up in these qualifiers, and at the end of the day, we are expected to present 5 teams from Africa. 5 teams from Africa. You know, recently the under 17 women's World Cup was expanded to 24 teams. So Africa is hoping to bring 5 teams to the tournament, and we hope that the Flamingos of Nigeria, our girls, will be involved then. So for the qualifiers, the first round is going on currently now, which is happening this January. The second round will happen in March, and the third round will happen in April. So for the first round, Nigeria had to scale through because of their rank and the quality we have and the antecedents we have. So we had to be grouped in the second round. So for the first round, South Africa and Gabon, we are meant to play South Africa and Gabon. And luckily for South Africa, Gabon didn't meet the age restriction limit for the first round. So Gabon, we are walked off from the qualifier. So in the second round, come March, we'll be playing South African ladies. And we hope that we can beat those girls and grab the third round ticket, finish the third round ticket, and go to the under 17 Women's World Cup. We did quite well for ourselves in the last one, so I hope that we improve on this one. We got knocked out in the knockout stages, and we picked the Fair Play Award in the last tournament. So I hope that the ladies can get past the South Africans, and if we get past the South Africans, our third round, we either play the winners of Guinea versus Botswana or Tunisia versus Algeria in April. So I just hope that our ladies will do us proud this time around and beat South Africa, so that we can get the third round and automatically and possibly get to the under 17 Women's World Cup happening in Morocco. It's happening in Morocco sometime in November this year. So what else do we have? On our home front? On our home front, the biggest news in the women football, is the movement of one player, Remo Stars. Stars signs Rivers Angels Immaculata of Young, a 19-year-old Immaculata of Young. She was formerly the under 17 right back, and she has made the move from Rivers Angels to Raymond Stars Ladies. So that's one of the biggest news making the rounds here in Nigeria. So from Nigeria, we step out to Africa. We move to Africa. So what do we have from you in Africa? In Africa, we have the news that Olisanda, who plays for the Bucks, the Orlando Pirates, back there in South Africa, he is back to training. Remember, the guy was injured in September last year. He tore his tibia fracture. He had a tibia fracture, and that was against Polokwane City in September. So, the Bucks had released a message that he's back. He's back. So we hope to see him. We hope to see him in the Chan tournament, which is coming up in February. But it's just a little time from September to January. He hasn't played, so I doubt if he will be picked. But I sincerely hope that he plays at the Chan tournament, because the guy is a very good center back. I don't know why he's not been called to the Super Eagles. The last time he played for the Super Eagles, he really did well. So I don't know why he hasn't been called. So I hope that his progress, his return, will mark a remarkable thing for him in the national team. So still in Africa, yeah. Over the weekend we saw the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. The penultimate rounds were played, and so far so good. 5 teams have qualified for the quarterfinals in the CAF Champions League. They are AS FAR of Morocco, Pyramids FC of Egypt, Esperance of Tunisia, Al Ahly of Egypt, and Orlando Pirates. They are the 5 teams who have booked their place in the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. That's where our eye is on, because of Enyimba Football Club or Club of Aba. But so far in the CAF Confederations Cup, 5 teams also have booked their place in the quarterfinals. CS Constantine of Algeria, ROSB Berkane of Morocco, Stellenbosch of South Africa, USM Alger of Algeria, and Zamalek of Egypt have all booked their place in the quarterfinals. Zamalek are in the group with Enyimba Football Club of Aba, Al Masry and Black Bulls. They are in Group D, and Zamalek have booked their place. Talking about Enyimba, yesterday they messed up a very good chance of qualifying for the quarterfinals. They have just 5 points from 5 games, 2 losses, 2 draws, and 1 win. Their 1 win coming from the whipping boys of the group, the Black Bulls. So yesterday they played 1-1 with Al Masry. It could have been worse. But the Enyimba goalkeeper stepped up to save a penalty in that game, and the game ended 1-1. It was really a very good opportunity for Enyimba to qualify for the quarterfinals, at least book a second place in that game, in that group. And now they are going to work on tight roads, because their next game, which is the last game of this group, is going to be away to Zamalek, and Al Masry are playing at home to Black Bulls, who are last on the table. So I don't know, we just hope for a miracle, but we know how Africans or how Nigerians or other teams fare when they go to play in North Africa. It will be very hard, but I pray and I hope that since Zamalek are qualified, maybe they can play their fringe players or young players since they have qualified, but you never can tell. But let's see what happens in this group. So we wish Enyimba all the luck in that game. Al Masry still shows their superiority against Nigerians, because in the 4 games they have played against Nigerian teams, they have not lost any. They have played 4 games, won 2 and drawn 2 against Nigerian opposition in the group stages of CAF Confederations Cup. So that's it for Al Nassr. Enyimba had the opportunity to do that in Uyo, but they failed and they picked up a draw. So in Africa, what else we have in Africa? Nothing much to talk about in Africa. So we'll be moving straight to Europe. And what we have for you in Europe, we'll start with the transfer news, the transfer making the rounds in Europe, and the trading transfers also. So where do we start if not from Chelsea? Chelsea have said that they are open to allowing Vega leave on a permanent basis, not on a loan deal. So anybody who is coming to take Vega on loan should be careful, because Chelsea are not ready to loan the guy. They are ready to collect a fee for him on a permanent move. And according to reports, they have pegged 30 million euros on Vega. And One team that is showing an interest there is Borussia Dortmund. They are showing interest in Vega. And what we have again, Noah Okafor. Noah Okafor seems to be making the rounds also. And he is on the verge of completing his 1.5 million euros move to RB Leipzig from AC Milan. The deal has a 30 million euros option to buy for RB Leipzig. So he's flying in. He flew in. I think he flew in yesterday to complete his medical. So today, at the time of making this video, he's here to complete his medical. So I hope that at the end of today, he will complete his medicals and be announced as an RB Leipzig player on loan. And from there, we'll move to Pep Guardiola in Manchester City. Last over the weekend, we had Pep Guardiola coming out to tell us that Kai Walker has asked to leave. Kai Walker has asked to leave. So that man is on the news and he wants to leave maybe as early as this January. And who are the teams interested? The team interested for Kai Walker are AC Milan and Inter Milan. But AC Milan seem to be leading the chase. AC Milan has showed interest in Kai Walker. AC Milan has shown keen interest in Kai Walker, so they want to get their guy. So still at Manchester City, James McAteer, the guy that stole the show in the FA Cup, the hat-trick hero, also is on the verge of move from Manchester City on loan. And still on Manchester City, they are on the verge of completing the signing of Kusanov from RC Lens. The signing of Kusanov from RC Lens for a fee worth around 40 million euros. Anytime this week, they will complete the medicals and the guy will be a Manchester City player. One thing about this guy was that a year and a half ago, RC Lens spent just 100,000 euros on this guy. They brought in him 100,000 euros, and now look at what they have made up the guy. They have made close to 50 million euros. 50 million euros if everything goes to plan, both the add-ons and everything. But for now, we heard the fee is around 40 million euros. So from Manchester City to another Manchester, still in the city of Manchester, Manchester United. From the reports we have, they are on the verge of completing a move for the left back, Diego Leon from Coro Poteno in Paraguay. Most people don't know about this, but he's on the line. They are paying around $8.5 million for the guy, $5 million in transfers, and $3.5 million to Coron Potono on difficulties. And the guy will be joining in the summer. So he might be in Manchester to complete his medical, sign the necessary documents, then fly back to Paraguay to join them in the summer. And another still in Manchester United is Marcus Rashford. Nobody knows what is really going on with Marcus Rashford. But one thing has still been showing interest, which is AC Milan. So we'll be looking at this and see what will happen in the coming days. From Manchester United, we'll move to Barcelona in Spain. What we have in Barcelona, Ronaldo Araujo has told his close friends and he wants to leave Barcelona. He has told his close friends he wants to leave Barcelona. And Juventus are one team really interested in Araujo. They are really interested in Araujo. And according to reports, Barcelona has pegged a 50 million euros price on the guy for him to move. From there, we move to PSG. Okay, still with Juventus, we had, let's go to PSG. From Barcelona, we go to PSG. PSG, what we have? PSG seem to have won the race for Havincha Kvaratskhelia. Havincha Kvaratskhelia seem to be moving to PSG. The 22-year-old over the weekend asked Napoli that he wants to leave, and they have granted his request. So PSG looks to have agreed a 5-year deal with the guy, and the transfer fee seems to have been reached with Napoli. So according to what we have, PSG are offering the guy 4 times his current wages. 4 times his current wages to join them. So having Kvaratskhelia looks to have to be a PSG player. So in the coming days, we might see this deal sealed and done. And still talking about PSG, the movement of having Kvaratskhelia could see Kolomoani move. He could see Kolomoani move because the guy seemed to be on the transfer market. And one team to show interest in Kolomoani is Juventus. Juventus are showing strong interest in Kolomoani. And just this morning or this afternoon, there is a breaking news that Aston Villa has agreed a deal for Joan Malen from Borussia Dortmund for 25 million euros with 5 million add-ons. So we are going to watch that. Let's watch and see how that one pans out. So that's what we have for you in transfers. That's what we have for you in transfers. So where do we dive in now? From there, we go to the FA Cup, still in Europe, the FA Cup. And we saw the magic happen in the FA Cup. But there was no giant killers in this third round. But we'll pick on the big games that happened. Arsenal against Manchester United. We saw how Manchester United knocked off Arsenal in that 5-3 win in penalties after the game ended 1-1. And the three games that went to penalties this round, we had the Manchester and the Arsenal Manchester games. Also, Hull City and Doncaster went to penalties. Also, the game ended 1-1 and Doncaster won 5-4 on penalties. Also, Coventry and Sheffield Wednesday ended 1-1 and the game went to penalties and Coventry won also 4-3 on penalties. But two teams saw a red card in this round. Who are the two teams? They are Oxford United and Manchester United. So these are some of the stars that came out from the FA Cup. And the biggest winners of this FA Cup this round are Manchester City beating Salford. They beat Salford 8-0. Salford 8-0. And James McAteer also grabbed an hat-trick also. And yesterday we saw the draws for the fourth round. The fourth round has been drawn. And who are the biggest games we have in the fourth round? Manchester United playing at home to Leicester City. Brighton playing at home to Chelsea. Everton playing at home to Bournemouth. And Aston Villa playing at home to Tottenham. These games are going to the FA Cup games. The fourth round we played on the weekend of February 8th. We have not gotten the full fixture list, but we expect it to go on the weekend of February 8th. So that's it for the FA Cup. That's it for the FA Cup. From there, we move to Spain. What do we have in Spain? Atletico Madrid are top of the La Liga table. Yesterday, they beat Osasuna 1-0. To top the La Liga table. And yesterday, something remarkable happened because yesterday saw Atletico Madrid create a club record of 14 consecutive wins. And in doing that, they scored 35 goals, conceded 8 goals, and kept 8 clean sheets. That's it for Atletico Madrid. They are currently on a 5-game winning streak in La Liga. They are top of the table after 19 games. On 44 points. They are 44 points. That's it for Atletico Madrid. And talking about Spain, yesterday we saw the El Clasico, the Super Cup final taking place in Saudi Arabia, where Barcelona decimated Real Madrid once again, ending 5-2 in that 7-goal thriller. 5 goals coming in the first half and 2 goals coming in the second half. We saw Mbappe opening the score, and from there, Barcelona took it. Yamal and Rafinha ran the show for Barcelona. What else we have for you in that game? In that game, we saw a lot of stats coming out. Kylian Mbappe also grabbed his 14th goal of the season, which is not actually bad considering the criticism he has received this season. Yamal also has contributed 20 goals, both assists and goals, 20 goal assist involvement for Yamal. And earlier before the year started, he said he wanted to kickstart in 2025 scoring goals, and he has done so. 2 games in 2025, and he has 2 goals to show already. So the young man is doing well for himself. The biggest man from this game, the boss himself, Rafinha. I don't know. The guy is really on form. I think the time has come to really talk about who is going to win the Ballon d'Or soon between him and Mohamed Salah. Rafinha is doing well for himself. 2 goals from him in that game, plus an assist. And together he has 19 goals and 11 assists. That's 30 goal involvement already in January this season. The guy is doing so well for himself. From there, we move to Serie A. Serie A, what do we have? Serie A, Napoli beating Verona 2-0. Inter Milan beating Venezia 1-0 away. Milan and Cagliari 1-1. Torino and Juventus 1-1. Udinese and Atalanta 0-0. Still on that, top of the top of the Serie A table is still Napoli. After 20 games, they have 47 points. Inter Milan second, but with 2 games adrift. They have just played 18 games and have 43 points. Atlanta in third, 19 games and 42 points. From there, we move to the Bundesliga. What do we have in the Bundesliga? Nothing much. Borussia Dortmund beating Leverkusen. Borussia Dortmund losing to Bayer Leverkusen 3-2. 3-2. And our man of interest there is Nathan Talley. And the man himself, Victor Boniface. But Nathan Talley seemed to have shown to have turned up in the game. And in Bundesliga, Bayern also won Monaco, Mönchengladbach, 1-0. Who tops the league? Bayern still tops the league, 39 points. And Bayer Leverkusen following up with 35 points. And Eintracht Frankfurt third with 30 points, together as also as RB Leipzig, and all teams have played 16 games. From there we move to Turkey. Our person of interest is Victor Osimhen for Galatasaray. Victor Osimhen, they won over the weekend 2-1 away to Istanbul Başakşehir. They won against Istanbul Başakşehir. And to one interesting thing is that Galatasaray are still first on the table. They are first on the table after 18 games. They are yet to lose a game this season. They have 50 points. 50 points at this time of the season. And second on the table after 17 games with 39 points is Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce. That's what we have for you in Europe. Then from there we'll move to the EPL. EPL is going to come up this midweek. We didn't have any EPL games this weekend because of the FA Cups. So tomorrow, Tuesday, Chelsea will take on Bournemouth. West Ham will take on Fulham. Brentford will take on Manchester City. Nottingham Forest will take on Liverpool. And on Wednesday, Newcastle will take on Wolves. Everton will take on Aston Villa. Leicester City will take on Crystal Palace. Arsenal will take on Tottenham. And on Thursday, Ipswich will take on Brighton. Manchester United will take on Southampton. Big games there. Arsenal and Tottenham, a very big game. And in the first leg of this game, the reverse fixture of this game, we saw Arsenal winning Tottenham 1-0 away from home, and Chelsea also won away to Bournemouth. So let's see what this fixture will bring. Liverpool also lost at home to Nottingham in the reverse fixture. So let's see how it pans out this midweek. Manchester City away to Brentford. In the reverse fixture, they won 2-1 at home to Brentford. And unfortunately, or should I say unfortunately for Brentford, Manchester City seem to have found their mojo back. So these are the games to look out for this midweek. Then from there, we move to tennis. What do we have from you? The Australian Open is back. The Australian Open has started. So, but we have shockers in the Australian Open. Shockers are happening this first round. For the ladies, Victoria Azarenka has been knocked out. She was knocked out by Lucia Bronzetti. She lost 6-2, 7-6 in the first round, and she's out. And in the men's game, there seem to be a lot of shockers. In the men's game, there seem to be a lot of shockers. The most shocking was Stefanos Tsitsipas was knocked out by Michelson Alex. 5-7, 3-6, 6-2, 4-6. He was knocked out. And also Nick Kyrgios today was knocked out by Jakob Fallon, 7-6, 6-3, 7-6. And Diego Dimitrov was also knocked out by Francesco Passaro, 7-5, 2-1. David Goffin also was knocked out by B. Bonzen, Benjamin Bonzen, 6-1, 6-2, 7-6. And that brings us to the end of today's segment. I hope you have enjoyed today's segment, and I hope to see you next time. Join us next time as we preview and review what has happened this midweek. Join us on Friday as we preview the games coming on this weekend, and also review the games that have happened this midweek, and also events that have happened over this midweek. So I'm still your host, Ikemefuna Chukwuebuka, and I wish you well this midweek. I wish your teams well this midweek. See you guys at the end of the week. Thank you and bye-bye.